Hey, Jordan here with the Red Mountain Life, where we adventure, build, and explore. Join us today as we come out here camping in Colorado at about 11,000 feet into a snowstorm. I set up this tent, we do a wood stove inside, do a little bit of a fire, cook some food, and then camp out in -4-degree temperatures. I've got my old school Dana Designs Arcflex Astroplane pack. It's an old school pack from, I think I got it 2003 used. This has been with me for many years, kind of an homage to years and years of doing stuff. Winter stuff is bulky and heavy, so I needed a big pack, an expedition size pack, just to bring everything in, even though it's an overnight. Plus I want to be cushy. So if you have not seen these before, these are called skins. Originally it was used seal skins, and what they do is this side goes smooth and this side grips the snow crystal, so it allows me to walk uphill. I put these on my skis and I can remove them to go downhill. And there's like a glue that's on here that's semi-tacky, so it stays on, but you can take it off and it doesn't leave any residue. It's like a souped up cross-country ski. And these are glue savers, so they go in between so it doesn't all stick to each other as much. Here's the hard part. You got to get it to stretch out to the end. You can go up quite a steep slope with these. There we go. It's a skin that goes on. Then what you do to walk, you take these touring pin bindings, take this, you flip it over, press down, and that allows your toe to connect here and your heel comes free here. Then you can go uphill. All right, let's get going. Moving on skis, it's not too bad, and what happens is that heel can come up just like a cross-country ski. I'm not going to go too far, just enough to set up a tent in the trees and have a little camp out. Snow's pretty deep already. Be sinking down and post holing if I wasn't on skis. I think I found a good little spot over here. Got some dead wood around for firewood, and it's well protected in the trees. On a night like this, it's nice to be in the trees, away from the wind. You do want to be careful. Make sure you're not around any trees that look like they're gonna fall on you, have any widowmakers around. Hopefully the wind's not too bad. We will try to set up over here. This little clearing looks like a good spot. Pretty flat, enough snow. Well, maybe down over here. Might be better. I'm still really close to the car because I'm just looking to kind of camp and have a hot tent stove. Plus, it's gonna get dark here soon. I really need to get camp set up. But I found this little spot right here. It's kind of tucked down beneath an area here by this tree, which looks pretty hardy. Protect me from some wind. There's a dead tree over there, and there's this little one right here. That one's not going anywhere. There's one right here, but I'm gonna set it behind this other tree, so even if it did come down, it would deflect off the tree first. I'm gonna get this tent set up, and I gotta go quick. Probably gonna do a time lapse of that, so bear with me. Oh, we still have just barely any light here. It's not the greatest tent setup in the world. The snow's pretty loose and powdery like it gets in Colorado. I really had to dig deep to bury some of this stuff, but we'll see if it holds up. I gotta get some of these guy outs set up, and then that should protect from the wind a little better. Gotta get some firewood here. Nice dead root. Should give me a little bit. Whew. Snow's still coming down. See if I get buried or not tonight. There we go. A lot of dead stuff out here. Should work good. I'll just keep working at it. Cool, well, we are getting all set up here in the tent. It's not a huge stack of firewood, but it'll keep me warm enough for long enough. Honestly, this tent itself, just protecting from the wind and that snow skirt being covered in by the snow, it's really keeping me pretty warm to begin with. But once I stop moving, I'm gonna cool down pretty quick. It's gonna be cold tonight. I have a -40 bag. Probably spend most of the night in that. And like always, getting up in the morning is always the hardest part winter camping. It's time to get the inside. Hard to see in here, huh? It's time to get the inside of this place sort of set up, kind of dried in on one side, and the other side can stay snowy, not a big deal. And that's where the wood stove's gonna be, and I'll do my cooking. So it's kind of a nice thing about an open floor tent. There's some downsides if it's buggy or anything. Winter, it's pretty great. I don't know how well you can see here, but a little ice bearded up right now, but hopefully it'll thaw out. If not, I guess I gotta pull it out. It's always frustrating. Thaw it out with the hot stove soon. All right, so we're gonna flatten this out. Then we're gonna get this whole side covered. Obviously this is a huge tent. I got it a little while ago. Cheapo Beaver hot tent. Tell you what, I've been pretty impressed with it thus far for a $115 hot tent. Some of them run like 900 or 1500 bucks. So, you know, 115 bucks is a pretty good deal. It is heavy though, so I would not recommend carrying it long distances. Oops, knocked you over there. Why don't we put you right up there. I think you'll be much more comfortable up there. So I'm just gonna kind of grade this out, try to level it-ish. As winter camping, you can kind of create this little bed that you sink into. You can make chairs, you can make tables, all sorts of little furniture stuff. This is pretty powdery snow, so it's a little harder right now. I didn't have much time today. I didn't get very elaborate with it. Huh, free firewood, perfect. And if you'll notice, I've worn the same gloves the entire time. I've stayed warm. I guess they're mittens. Mittens keep you much warmer. The reason I did that is if you can keep one pair from getting too soaked, it's really, really helpful, because the name of the game in winter camping is try to stay dry, which I'm not totally, but I'm pretty dry overall. Considering I've been wrestling around in the snow here, I'm pretty dry. In between getting my fingers freezing cold here and trying to keep them warm and all that, so I can stay warm, set up my sleeping pad and bag. Just about 11,000 feet, so a little bit harder to breathe. This top part, it's like a little fleece top area, so you can put a pillow underneath there, holds it in place so it doesn't slide off at night. Get the marshmallow bag out here, packs down nice and small, it's all 800 filled down, and then it starts to just expand. Cool. This is the Peaks Solitude wood stove, tent stove. It's really, really light. I think it's like under 2 pounds. It's all made of titanium, and it really gets pieced together nicely for backpacking, winter camping. I'm currently just kind of wrapped up in my sleeping bag and putting it together. There we go. Put the top enclosure on. Seems about right. Just put all these over top here, and we'll put the chimney in place. We take a stovepipe, pop it up through here, and put it down on top of your stove. Now that I've spent all this time setting it up and getting my fingers cold with the metal, I'm gonna actually need the stove. It's actually kind of funny like that. I'm so used to not using stuff like this that now that I've gotten a stove, a hot tent and stuff, it's like, oh, that's kind of nice, but also there's way more steps to it. Call me non-traditional, call me whatever, I don't care. But these days I always bring my cheater blocks, I call them, to start a fire. Just makes it so much easier. Cotton balls with Vaseline also work really well. It's gonna be nice to actually have some heat. Now my fingers are cold. Put some little stuff in there to get it going. Pick up a little bit, melt off some of that wet snow. It's taking a little longer to catch just because of all that snow. But it is starting to warm up. I've been a big fan of this Sea to Summit pot. Folds up really nicely. I'm going to try to use this stove to boil up water. I don't know if that's going to work or be efficient, but since it's running anyway, I might as well. If not, I do have my stove as well. I did bring in a little bit of water with me. It wasn't really necessary, there's so much snow, but it's really nice to actually help it get started. There we go. It's starting to freeze up on me anyway. Got some mac and cheese tonight. So this thing is actually starting to warm up the water a little bit. We'll see if I can get it to a boil or not. Got the old Velveeta shells and cheese. Well, would you look at that? Mac and cheese on top of the wood stove. Probably still set up my WhisperLite stove just because I'll want coffee in the morning, and it's much faster to boil water and get snow boiled up. Pretty cool to see that it works that well. I'm very hungry. I would very much like some shells and cheese soon. So when you're winter camping, I've always felt it's important not to waste your water. Dumping out my pasta water, then I'm gonna make some hot chocolate out of it. I know it sounds gross to a lot of people, but if you spend enough time in the backcountry, you understand you reuse things a lot. And it's all clean, it's all boiled. Don't want to lose my pasta though. That would be unfortunate. There we go. Get all the chemicals. But man, it tastes good. Bagged salmon. You mix that in there as well. Get a little bit of protein. Salmon's one that people don't think about a lot of times, and it actually is really good. Especially these pouch tunas, salmons, chickens, all the different ones. They work really well. Minimal cleanup. I'm very excited to eat it. I'm not no gourmet chef, but hey, tastes pretty darn good. In the winter, I don't mind cooking inside the tent too much. You know, there's still a chance an animal could be interested or whatever, but it's really just bears that are curious that you're really wanting to avoid more than anything else. So I have this little light that goes on the GoPro. It wasn't charged up before. If it was dark, I apologize. It's probably still kind of dark. It's kind of hard to film and get good light out here, especially when you're packing everything in. Doing the best I can and trying to get better each time I make a video. If you are enjoying this at all, put a lot of work into these videos, and being perfectly frank, cool to be able to be monetized if a lot of people like it, if people like the content. If they don't, whatever, we're not good enough. Like and subscribe, it'd be great. Thanks. You can see how nice this little like shelf thing can be when you're able to dig out the snow, when you're able to have a little bit of a loft up here. It just makes it really comfortable to sit down. And obviously this chair slash sleeping bag, really comfortable too. Just little tips and tricks that maybe not everyone knows. Maybe you do know it. Maybe you have ideas and you want to put them down in the comments. I'm always up for learning new stuff. I haven't been as up on gear in the last couple of years. Maybe there's new stuff I haven't even thought of. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut up some firewood for the morning and throughout maybe a little bit of the night. It's a lot nicer to just have it ready to go in the morning. I saw this meme once that was like, I'll get gas in the morning is one of the worst micro decisions you can make as an adult. I think that's kind of true of this and a lot of things in life, but it's very true with firewood and camping, especially waking up in the morning. You don't want to get out of your sleeping bag. You want to be able to just throw stuff in there and be ready to go. Don't cut your Gore-Tex jacket, Jordan. In the spirit of not wanting to get out of my sleeping bag in the morning, I am going to set up my WhisperLite stove. And these things work really, really well at cold temperatures. They are a liquid fuel, and so what they do is they prime and then turn a liquid fuel into a gas. Liquid gas in there, white gas. This is the international version, so it technically can use like kerosene and all sorts of different stuff. They are really reliable and just really easy to clean, really easy to manage. You put this little pump, you screw on the top, so it clicks into this little spot here. And so your whole stove setup is really just this. And this triangle thing on the bottom, that's for snow because it gets hot and then it'll start melting down into the snow. So this actually gives you enough surface area and float so that it doesn't do that. Figured I'd show you that, get an idea of how all that works. Also in the spirit of not getting out of my bag in the morning, boiling up some water, then I will put it in my Nalgene. I can put that in my sleeping bag to keep me warm, but more importantly, keeps the water from freezing. So I have a little bit of water to start up and melt some snow tomorrow. Just makes it go a lot faster. It's definitely very, very pretty out here. The storm has cleared up. I think they got 11 or so inches. That stove is doing its work right now. Just came outside and checked it out after the storm cleared up a bit. Really pretty out here. Can't wait to see it in the morning. Well, it's been a good trip and a good night so far, but I think I'm gonna head to bed and get in my sleeping bag and get warmed up here. I loaded up that stove and hopefully it stays warm for a little while. I'm all cocooned up here in my big marshmallow bag, just heading to bed, so it's been a great night. I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. Decided to sleep in a bit. The hardest part of camping out in the winter is always getting out of your sleeping bag. Hence why I'm still here. The night went well. Probably went down into the negatives as my guess, but given this marshmallow of a sleeping bag, stayed really comfortable, really warm. Plus the wood stove helped on top of that. Gonna get up and get going for the day. Once I get packed up, I might go ski a little bit today too. So a good trick for winter camping is sleep with your booties or gloves or things like that, or socks inside of your sleeping bag. Dries them out really well with your body heat. First step done. Like I said, it's a liquid fuel stove. You pump it up and get it to pressure. Once you get it to pressure like that, turn this on and you'll see here, you'll watch this cup fill up with fuel. And it comes out initially as a liquid. I have to light this on fire. It's going to prime that fuel and turn it into a gas. Make a Cadillac, which is where you mix hot chocolate and coffee. People call it a mocha, but when you're camping, it's called a Cadillac. And you'll see as it starts to convert over from that liquid to the gas, you'll see the blue flame come out of here. There we go. And we're on a gas. It cleared up a little bit from last night, or from when I was setting up, but there's a little bit of a storm that rolled in. Got a bunch of new snow here, so we'll just scoop that on up. And the ratio on the melting is always crazy. It's way less water that you get compared to how much snow you pick up. If you ever cook inside your tent, you always want to leave a vent at the lowest point because you do get carbon monoxide out of these stoves. Well, any stove really. And people have died doing that before, and it stays low to the ground. That's what carbon monoxide does generally. What I'm doing is venting this little corner. Sure, I'll do the wood stove. Little fire starter things, they are great. Again, it looks kind of gross, but it's just some leftover hot chocolate. It'll mix in just fine. It's getting there. Just a few minutes, got a nice rolling boil, so we know it's safe now. I wouldn't be too concerned about this new snow, but might as well. Giardia is no fun. I am ready for some coffee. See my fancy cup holder here? I can do coffee and my oatmeal. There waffles and cinnamon oatmeal. Well, it's not the worst way to spend the morning, as long as you can mitigate the cold a little bit. Tell you what though, digging this tent out today is going to be a whole thing, because it's all soft and nice snow the night before, then it freezes and refreezes overnight. It gets really hard. About time to get all packed up here. Very last thing, you gotta take this tent down. It's gonna take a little while. I have it tied off here. That's an easy one. The rest of them, I do a lot of Deadman anchors. Deadman anchors are where you bury something in the snow and push it all on top. Now, it was really loose snow last night, but it's frozen over, and now it's gonna be really hard to get out. So I'm gonna have to dig out some with the shovel, and I'm gonna head back to the truck. So let me show you one of these Deadman anchors here real quick. So what we do is we bury, in this case I found some sticks and just buried them in the snow. As you can see, I'm pulling pretty good tension on this. It does not want to come up. You really have to dig it out to actually make it come up. These Deadman anchors are crazy strong. Years ago, when I was doing some mountaineering stuff, we were doing crevasse rescue practice. Did a bunch of Deadman anchors and literally jumped off on a climbing rope into a crevasse. It holds all your weight and it holds a team of people. It's unbelievable how strong snow can be when you pile it up and you stack it the right way. Well, that's it for this trip on a Red Mountain Life. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you would like to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below if you enjoyed it or have new ideas or something you saw you had questions about, or something I did wrong that, hey, maybe I need to fix it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this type of content, join us again on Red Mountain Life. My name is Jordan. See you next time.